exclusive interview with rock and roll superstar David Bowie.
The consummate composer, performer, some would say, of the world these days, Mr. David Bowie. Hi, David. Can we applaud? Okay.
Ziggy played guitar, jamming good with Weird and Gilly, and the spiders from Mars.
What is Ziggy?
Ziggy, I wanted to define the archetype Messiah rock star. That's all I wanted to do, and I used the trappings of kabuki theater, mime technique, fringe New York music. Like my references were Velvet Underground,
right.
Whatever.
Suffragette City, or
it had that
street,
energy value. I wanted that energy value. Yeah, it was a British view of American street energy. So Ziggy was for me a very simplistic thing. It was what it seemed to be, an alien rock star, and for performance value, I dressed him and acted him out. I left it at that. But other people reread him and contributed more information about Ziggy than I had put into him.
Right, they could write novels about that guy.
Right, I think basically because of that I'd put 3 viewpoints into the album from 3 different areas. Maybe the character himself would appear, and then there would be 2 other statements by 2 other people, all on one album, which was kind of confusing. But it was the way an author would write a book.
Yes.
Rather, it hadn't been utilized that much in records. And I had trouble explaining that it was a theater piece, that the spiders didn't really exist, that they only existed for the duration of that character's life.
Right.
And I was stuck with him for a long time. It took a long time to shake him off after I'd finished working with him, because people relate to him more than David Bowie at the time. It was still very hard for anybody to realize that a rock artist can go on stage and be a different person every time he goes on stage.
They do that.
Nobody was doing that.
Day, though. It need not be repetitive.
It's for me a celebration of the future. It's like a mopping up operation of what to do when you're a rock star at 43, 44, and this is the first signs of how we deal with it. One of them being is that you have now subsequently collected a huge amount of material, and that's one of the things that the audience feel is so much a part of once you go out and play these things. But the next approach is what after that. Okay, so now we know that. We now know that our old material is very popular. But then do we continue playing that for the rest of our lives? And those are some of the major decisions that we have to make, we older chaps. And for me personally, I don't think I want to rest with that. That's not going to excite me very much. I'd rather sort of have a heyday and a real ball singing these songs one last time.
I really had the idea in my head that people would do my songs. And I was not a natural performer. I didn't feel at ease on stage, ever. And I had created this one character, Ziggy Stardust, that it seemed that I would be the one that would play him because nobody else was doing my songs, and the chances of my actually getting a musical mounted were very slim. And so I became Ziggy Stardust for that period. And I felt really comfortable going on stage as somebody else. And it seemed a rational decision to keep on doing that. And so I got quite besotted with the idea of just creating character after character. And I think probably there must have been a point in the late 70s, well, I know there was, where I felt that the characters were in fact getting in the way of myself as a writer, and I endeavoured to kind of kill them off. I'm not sure if I was ever successful in that, because I do take a degree of theatricality when I go on stage all the time. It's, sort of that's how I deal with the stage situation. I'm still not comfortable on stage.